It was horrible. But he said, to our, to the road manager, and he's gonna have to deal with this. He says, obviously, someone made a mistake. More than a mistake, I'm sorry.
Or people getting that careless.
I can't believe it, because one of them is the Village of Casco. Village of Casco is always a cost. Oh, it's gotta be private. Gotta be private.
I've seen guys stop and pick up recycling, put it in there.
Oh, you know, it was in the garbage.
Because they had 2 trucks.
What did I get? Okay. Now, some of them, if they have a stop that's is customarily the recycling is garbage, then what they'll do is they'll talk to each other in the trucks and they'll trash it. Because there are stops out there that think that silage film is recyclable.
Oh, I don't have that.
I've seen a few in our town that put garbage.
You get, we get a couple, you know, and usually the drivers tell us, you know, that it's in
Supposed to
there.
have
Where
clear bags, too, not the colored bags.
they are supposed to have anyways.
That way they get all the road.
Yeah, then when you go down the road, it all goes poof.
It goes poof and it comes fluffing up. Yeah.
They go back and pick that up though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you bet they do.
Who's there?
Driver?
Define the.
The ones that, no, it's the ones that are, standing at the back of the truck, like.
Oh, don't,
They got an arm there.
don't
Yeah, I
remind
know,
me
I
of the
just-
old days. We had a one-arm bandit too. There was a guy that was riding on the back. He'd
Yeah.
grab it and flip it around his back.
Yeah, I remember
That
that.
was a one-arm bandit. And then somebody would surprise you with one that weighed about 150 pounds.
Right, and so that almost pull you off the truck and guy would have to stop.
When we used to take our own to the Murphy rebate, a guy would come out and look at it, and if it was too much, he would charge you a dumping fee.
They do now.
They do still.
Actually, if it's too much, like if I'd have had that load that I would have, if they'd have brought that load in and they'd have dumped it, and then they would have called them and says, you will have a truck here to pick it up. And they'll send it roll off. They gotta send it roll off over. They gotta load it up. They gotta pay to bring it in the transfer station. Plus $150 fine. And then they gotta pay to get rid of it. At the
I thought they charged double that time.
it's, well, it should be that, way, really.
Well, the toughest part is, and the reason why is because if you allow it for one, then it just continues to snowball.
Yeah. So we charge an extra $100. You get charged the full rate for recycling.
Oh,
They're
generally up by $150 anyway.
a month now because they fuel surcharge, so.
Yeah.
I'll have an excuse for shows it all.
I mean, yeah, fuel rate. Those- I don't know if they're making it that much.
Some nights, fight pretty hard to.
I know it's
till
cost
at
us.
least 10.
We used to fill the truck. Our fuel bill was about 4,500. Okay. Now it's about 12,000.
Pass that all along in fuel surcharges, though, don't you?
Well, we certainly do. You know, it's no job.
And the end user, somebody's paying. Well, but your groceries are so high. Sure. Can you buy?
Well, everything you buy has got a fuel surcharge on it.
You know, Kim and Aaron are.
They got 3 minutes. We're gonna wait right up until 6 o'clock for them. Gotta wait until 6 anyway.
Rights
so-
are off.
I think you're
I
right.
got 3 minutes.
Oh, no, I can see it
I
there.
guess next week I'll go leaving.
Usually get done in 3 minutes. Don't say too much, we've got the camera out there, so. I want the public to, hear your discussion of the weather or, but, you don't necessarily want to go into conversations about where your children are right now or something. You don't know what kind of strange crowd could be watching. Oh, I don't know, is that actually recording yet or live?
I believe it is.
Oh, there you go. Anytime I'm at any of these, assume that we're on air. We're live. We lose the fun one way or another. Well, yeah, see, that's the kind of thing you should be making when that's from. That's precisely the kind of comment you should be avoiding there. Yeah, but by court order, wasn't it?
That was City of Green Bay.
City of Green Bay.
City of Green Bay.
City.
Oh, and the board came out and said that wasn't them. One guy anyway, I think was the chair, and said that wasn't us. We didn't see it, was just kind of like, don't blame me. Not to somebody else. All right, I got 6 o'clock. I don't know Supervisor Augustine's whereabouts. Oh, he said that last month. You are correct.
All right.
So Augustine is excused and Heskey excused. All right, gonna call the meeting to order. Roll call done. Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion? Supervisor Poppy, second by Supervisor Kroll. Any discussion of the agenda? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of February 6th minutes. Do I have a motion? Supervisor Lukes. I have a second. Supervisor Yankee. Any discussion of those minutes? Corrections? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment. Do we have any public commentary? No? You sure? Going
Yeah,
once?
they'll be on
twice?
the agenda part. So.
All right. No one wishes to speak. Moving on. Administrators report.
Certainly. You have the report, I believe, in your packets. Want to make sure? Yes? No? No? Nope. Oh, fine. Well, and I'll have to quick make copies. But it was saying for hires, we had Hope Markovic for radio operator jailer, Robert LaJoy in highway, Dallas Hubbard is in the Veteran Service Office, Stephanie Shikoski, is that how I pronounce it? Social worker for human services, and Josh Fishty has started as our PIO tourism coordinator. Job change, Laura Borkovitz went from CSP case manager to children's long-term support case manager. And Eric Zellner went from temporary operations lieutenant to the permanent operations lieutenant on February 12th. Retirement, Julie Schleiss, our registrar in probate, has sent in her retirement letter. Her last day will be May 5th. Just so everyone is aware, the register in probate is a court or judge appointed position. So I'll be having conversations with the judge as to what he is looking at from a position standpoint, whether that is a county person, whether that is someone outside the county, or whether there's something different that he wants to do. As for recruitments, custodian, we have 4 applications so far. For highway worker, we have 12. For the IT specialist, we have 4. As for the halftime secretary, register and probate, there weren't any real good candidates after the interviews. And so we have decided to suspend the candidate recruitment for that position. We may look to do that in the future, but we also may want to wait and see how the whole register and probate position itself in that office kind of shakes out. We don't necessarily want to hire someone if we don't necessarily need to.
You say 12 for applicants for IT?
No, 12 for the highway worker position.
Highway, how many was for the IT?
4. And 4 also for the custodian. As for temporary help in highway and parks, I don't think we're doing anything just yet for summer. And as for the winter park, we're basically done there. So we're not looking for more temporary.
It's advertised in the paper
Is it still?
for summer help for
Oh,
highway parks.
for summer. Okay. But I also have here on mine is that the winter park assistant, and we aren't doing that anymore because we're like a week or 2 away from closing that up. So I can make copies, but I kind of went over every single thing that was on the report, if that is okay with the committee. Otherwise, I will make copies to hand out.
Fine with me.
TIO's name.
Josh Bisty. And actually, he was the public information officer for, of course, now for New London. But he lives here in the city of Kewanee and was driving to New London every day.
So are we gonna have a St. Patrick's Day celebration?
You mean for the county or for otherwise?
Like New London does?
New Dublin? No, we weren't planning on that. So we're getting him up to speed. Definitely want to make sure that he is up to date on the whole website and getting that ready. And then what we'd like to do is really kind of make a push towards some videos to highlight all the different things that are within Kewanee County. And I think those 1 to 2 minute videos can do a great job to highlight all the great things that are in Kewanee County. He was doing that for New London. He is previously worked in media, so was a producer, was a videographer, the whole bit. So he's worked in TV, he's worked in radio, he's worked in print. So,
We can get a video of,
Yep.
We can get a video of Supervisor Yankee going down the tubing hill.
There you go.
Greasing you.
well, you got to remember in the past, we did do that on media day. We had people coming down.
Only if Bastilier is part of it.
So you said 12
Freeway race.
highway for IT.
And for custodian. Yep. Biste. And his first day was last week, Monday.
We didn't mention anything.
So
All right, anything else?
that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
All right, approval to fill vacancies at CCS Caseworker Crisis Coordinator, Human Services, Behavioral Health.
So,
If we join you.
yes, and I will do just a very, well, in fact, it's even better. Let someone that knows more of what they're talking about actually. So I'll leave that to Melissa. Our
Hi,
Human
everybody.
Services Director.
So you should have the memo that was included with your packet. Hopefully it's a minute to review that. Just in summary, Maureen O'Shea, a mental health therapist for the county, retired in January. So in looking at filling that position, we did an internal needs assessment, and we are interested in utilizing that position for the Comprehensive Community Services Program while also working in the crisis program. The reason we want to do this is because we're reaching maximum capacity, especially in CCS and Comprehensive Community Services, which serves consumers with intensive mental health needs. So by serving people in that program, it reduces our highly expensive crisis costs. So it feels like it is much more fiscally responsible to utilize that position in crisis and CCS where there is a greater need and a greater potential to bring in additional revenue. So we are seeking approval to fill the vacant mental health therapist position with the role of comprehensive community services, the crisis director, and then also being in the crisis rotation. So we're happy to answer any questions you might have on that.
Okay, so I'm confused.
Lots of seeds in there, right?
Yes, well, no, my confusion is you're asking us to fill a position, but you're saying it's a different position. So what is the difference from from who retired?
Yep.
And what we're doing now? So unless I'm wrong, unless I heard you wrong, we're having a retirement of a position and we're changing.
So both, yes, they're
So there
titled
must be a
differently,
reason.
different roles. Yep. So the retirement was a mental health therapist, provides outpatient therapy. And then we would like to instead use it so that individual would provide services in the comprehensive community services, be in the crisis rotation, and then also oversee the crisis program. So individuals who go into a crisis facility, that person then would monitor the discharge and making sure outpatient services are
Okay,
coordinated.
so what is the difference between that and what was done previously?
The mental health therapist simply provided outpatient therapy.
Okay,
So from a title standpoint, we've titled them clinical therapists, and just for some additional information, the new position, the CCS caseworker crisis person, I'm just going to put that all together instead of doing the three.
Mhm.
The CCS caseworker would be listed as a social worker as on the pay plan, and the clinical therapist that's the clinical therapist is the one retiring. From a step one standpoint, they are at 2865. And instead, what we're doing, because of the census, what our client needs are, we need less of the clinical therapy and we need more of the case management. And the caseworker, that step one is at 2481. So we're going from a clinical therapist from a pay standpoint down to
sure.
a social worker caseworker.
So we're lowering the pay scale,
And increasing revenue.
Right.
increasing the revenue
Increasing,
program.
correct.
which wasn't, that's fine. That wasn't actually what I was asking. but That's okay. I was just trying to understand why, what the difference is,
We,
between
yeah,
what
we
the two
feel,
will be doing.
we feel that it'll better serve the community and it's also a more fiscally responsible decision for the agency.
Okay, so without the mental health therapist, then it sounds like this person will actually be, we aren't going to end up with a situation where some of the duties of the mental health therapist are going to be getting shifted somewhere or not getting accomplished. I mean, they're going
That's a
to be,
good question. We feel that the therapy needs will be met by community partners. So there's outpatient therapists in the community that we can refer to.
As
If-
well as we have two of our own as
Right.
well.
So if we can't meet that capacity, we look at community resources.
okay, so we aren't going to end up with duties somehow not being fulfilled.
Right.
That need to be.
Correct.
Okay.
We'll have lesser duties that need to be filled by going this route.
But more flexibility in being able to service our clients.
Correct. Our higher need clients that will likely end up in crisis in the psychiatric hospital at the cost of no less than $1,200 a day. I'm a behavioral health manager, by the way. So I know it. Fantastic.
And how many do you have on average that end up having to go into?
Psychiatric hospital. Oh, that can vary.
I assume it's increasing.
It has. Last year, our crisis budget for the entire year was gone or exceeded by the end of March, I believe it was. Yeah, we've had some sometimes it's not about the number of people that can go in, it's about the acuity. So we can have people who are in there for extended periods of time. And it also depends on insurance. So Medicaid will cover if you're under the age of 21. It will not cover if you're over the age of 21, which is interesting in and of itself. So those are individuals that the counties end up covering the full cost of their
Over 21.
over 21, yes. The full cost of theirs.
If the person is over 21 goes in, it's on the county. If they're under 21, Medicaid covers it.
If they have Medicaid,
If they have,
correct.
or if they qualify.
And also for the committee's education, the Human Services Committee did approve and recommend filling of the position of this
Sure.
position.
And where do they go in when they go in? Is that on the lab?
I'm sorry.
For the psychiatric
Yeah.
hospitals, we have contracts with Willow Creek, Bellin Psychiatric Center, St. Elizabeth Hospital, Mercy Medical Center, and Winnebago Mental Health Institute. And then Brown County Community, well, Nicolay Community Treatment Center, used to be called Brown County Community Treatment Center.
Right, I think that's, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's over by the jail, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. Other questions? All right, is there a motion? So moved by Supervisor Kroll. Is there a second? Second by Supervisor Rondon. Is there any further discussion?
Do we have to approve the job description before we approve the position?
I would suggest, since we put both in there, you can do both at the same time if you would like. And I was going to assume, though I don't want to speak for Supervisor Kroll and Supervisor Rompton, is that miraculously that motion was to not only approve the filling of the position, but the job description as was put in the packet, if that is correct.
All right,
Sounds like the motion.
That's what I heard.
all right, is there further discussion? All right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Okay. The only thing I have left is next meeting.
I just wanted to ask
Yes.
how things went with Winter Park.
My understanding, I'll let you, otherwise I know.
I don't have much more information, but it's booming.
But I mean, like,
Fourth best season of.
and
in the
things went
district.
well with the ski hill and that, all that, because I had so many phone calls and
Really?
I kind of, so I just want to know if things
That's 'cause you
settled
don't
good.
answer them.
Dave told me yesterday they hit, on Saturday, they hit 12,000. In this, on the tubing hit.
For the season.
For the
Yeah, not
season.
that single day.
And I think that
Long lines.
Ski Hill was someplace between 500,000.
With what I would call the very uncertain and almost schizophrenic weather.
Yep.
That they've been able to have some skiing. And yes, a contract was signed for the interim. And so the volunteers have come to help out. Winter Park has done so. And then probably within 2 months, end of April, what we'll do then is come back and meet again to make sure that we have something set up well in advance for the season for 23-24. So
Things worked out. well with
things worked out,
everybody.
yes.
Very well. A lot
And-
of time and effort
Yeah, I
by
know it
a lot
was,
of people.
yeah, so I was hoping, because it's a community, you know, there's a lot of people involved in it, from the community, and it was a good thing for Keewatin County.
Sunday, February 26th, he said there's 400 tubing and around 90 on the ski. This weekend we're open, right?
This, maybe this weekend, this past weekend, yeah.
This weekend.
Well, they had 400 plus on a tubing hill. Yeah. Well, I left about 3:30 and they were someplace between 230 and 250. Slowing down a little bit.
I would think it would be only up this weekend.
All depends on how wet and how much may melt.
Is Friday
No.
rain or snow?
Good question.
Yeah. All these computers we have.
And I would say more of the tubing hill than possibly the ski hill. Just because the tube hill had more time to have a base put down. So
And how was the skating?
no skating. None.
Um,
Never
It
got
just
cold.
It
Just
couldn't stay.
tried it a few times.
Yeah.
It just held it right in.
Any other questions? All right, so next meeting is April 3rd. And I would look for a motion to adjourn. Supervisor Poppy, second by Supervisor Kroll. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you,
6:18.
folks. Makes up for a little bit of the last few, huh? When we're here for 2.5 hours. We're going for averages. Thank you. Yes.
Quick, one moment. Now I